This video is about air pressure and fronts. The last few days we've been talking about weather, and so what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce to you a few important words for weather and how to read a weather map. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to read a weather map and understand what all the symbols mean. So this is part 1. Make sure that you put your name on your paper. This paper is at the supply shelf, so go ahead and get this paper from the supply shelf. Put your name on it and the date. Okay, so we have these 5 symbols. These symbols are the most important symbols on a weather map, and they tell us what's going on in the atmosphere at those places. So the first one right here, the line with the pointed tick marks, this is called a cold front. Okay, this is a cold front. What you're going to do is you're going to take a blue colored pencil. You will need a blue and a red colored pencil. You're going to use the blue one. You can also use crayons, or if you have like a blue and a red, like markers or whatever, you can use that. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just put a light blue line like that. And then just for good measure, I'm going to shade in the borders of those tick marks. So that is a cold front. Cold front is when a giant mass of cold air is pushing into a hot air and pushing the hot air up. Now, behind a cold front, there is something called a high pressure system. So when you see an H, it means it is high pressure. And this H needs to be blue, so I'm just going to shade in the borders. So make sure that you are coloring with the same colors and in the same places that I am. Blue. Okay. High pressure comes right after a cold front. So your high pressure is going to be like in this area right here, right behind a cold front. High pressure. High pressure means that things are really squeezed together. The air is really thick. There's a lot of air pressed together behind this cold front. Okay. Number 3, this is called a stationary front. So this is called a stationary front. What this means is when there's some cold air and some warm air mixed, and at this front, it doesn't move. It just kind of stays in one spot. So that means that our cold tick marks are going to be blue. And it's kind of like blue for that little section. And then you take your red one, and you're going to shade in the red. When it's rounded like that, it means that it is red or warm. Okay. And I should note that in a cold front, the cold air is moving in the direction that the tick marks are pointed. So that's why having some on this side and some on that side of the line means that it's staying still. Okay, number 4 is a warm front. And a warm front is with these rounded edges. This is when a warm air is pushing away some cold air. There's a lot of cold air, and the warm air is coming in and pushing that cold air away. Okay, warm front. A warm front is moving in the direction that those rounded tabs are pointed. And behind a warm front, there is low pressure. That means there's a lot of space for everything. Remember, when it's warm, density decreases, things move farther apart. There's low pressure, because it's not really packed in. Low density, low pressure. And so that means that it is, in a low pressure system, it is warm. Okay. So now that we've labeled all these, go down to part 2. And we're going to do some matching down here. Okay. There we go. So, part 2 is matching. So you're going to use the word bank from part 1 to match the names to the definitions. Some words may be used more than once. Okay, so for the first one, thunderstorms are often produced ahead of this type of front. So ahead of this type of front, we want warm air being pushed out by cold air makes thunderstorms, which is a cold front. Okay, the second one is this pressure system brings dry, clear skies. In a place, if you think about what place can air not, like water can't evaporate. If water cannot evaporate, that means the air is so pressed down close that it does not allow any water to evaporate to make clouds. So that means we want to be in a high pressure system where everything's squished together. Okay. Third one is this type of air pressure is associated with warm air rising. So this type of air pressure is associated with warm air rising. In what type of pressure is air going to want to just rise, water evaporate? It's going to be when there's less pressure, less density. So it's going to be low pressure. So number 4, this type of front is stalled and rain may linger for a few days. So this is a little bit of rain lingering for a few days, and this type of front does not move, it's stalled. So the stationary front is the one that does not move. Number 5, this pressure system brings cloudy and stormy weather. So this pressure system brings cloudy and stormy weather. In the type of system that has lots of clouds is the same type of system that lets the water evaporate. You have to let water evaporate to be able to make clouds, so that means that you're going to be in a low pressure system. And then number 6, this type of front brings warmer temperatures. Well, this type of front brings warmer temperatures. You guessed it, warm front brings warmer temperatures. Number 7, this type of air mass is when cold air sinks. So when cold air sinks and things get closer together, things are sinking, that means that it's a high pressure because there's a lot of stuff being pushed down. It's a high pressure. Okay, number 8, the temperatures plummet. It's called the temperatures plummet, means they go down, it gets colder with this type of weather front. So I'm going to have you answer number 8. This type is when the temperatures plummet. And this type of weather front, temperatures plummet. What type of front do temperatures go down? Okay, after you're done with that, you're going to go to the next video, which is going to be the back of this paper.